Minister in the Presidency, that's Khumbudzo Ntshavheni, is currently presenting the State Security Agency's 2025 budget vote in Parliament. Let's listen in.
Strategy 2024 to 2029, the National Intelligence estimates with its National Intelligence Priorities 2019 to 2024. We cannot release the current National Intelligence estimate because it will then interfere with the operations of the intelligence structures and other respected. So the guidance is that we must release for the previous term. So because the sixth administration has concluded, we are going to then release the public versions of the National Intelligence estimate for the sixth administration. We'll release it today at 1:30 at the GCIS Media Center. Implementation of the General Intelligence Laws Amendment Act. GILA establishes new intelligence structures, provides for improved oversight and accountability of intelligence services, including enhanced independence of the IGI and NICOC. In terms of the new structures, the GILA establishes the South African Intelligence Service, the South African Intelligence Agency, the National Communications Center, and the South African National Intelligence Academy of Intelligence. To ensure efficient and streamlined organizational structure, these new departments and structures will be supported by a shared service capacity that will consolidate key administrative and support functions across the civilian intelligence community. In this regard, NICOC and the Office of the Interception Centers structures have been approved. The filling of vacancies will be completed over the next 24 months. Similarly, the Office of the Inspector General of Intelligence is currently filling its vacancies in line with its available budget. We are not only finalizing the organizational structures, but the relevant regulations that will govern them and their coordination and collaboration. We are mindful of the work underway in Parliament regarding the RICA bill, but we have also requested the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development to also prioritize the broader overhaul of the RICA framework as initiated through the RICA Reform Task Team. The OIC has commenced drafting legislation that will govern interception and bulk surveillance for national security purposes, as also raised in the Amabungane court judgment, because RICA will not sufficiently address requirements of national security. In addition, we are focused in building lawful interception capabilities for the OIC, which will be at par with the advancement of technology and provide ability to respond to the emerging challenges. Capabilities such as data analytics and use of artificial intelligence will enhance the ability to analyze big data, identify threats, and predict patterns of behavior from intercepted data and generate insights for law enforcement agencies to act preemptively and thus enhance the crime-fighting effort. Thus, resources will be directed towards investment in the state-of-the-art technologies that will enable interception, processing, and data analysis to stay ahead of the emerging threats. To prepare for the implementation of the new structures, we undertook a skills audit which had over 96% compliance and supported by a competency assessment. The skills audit and competency assessment highlighted the skills and competency gaps, some of which the organization has started to address through the training interventions by the Intelligence Academy, soon to be SANAI. And the next intake of the cadets will focus on much needed skills of data analytics, data science, artificial intelligence, amongst others, which will be supported by a clear career pathing and progression plan. The Intelligence Academy has also commenced with its repositioning as a fully fledged academy with SACWA accredited courses, which process will include collaboration with other institutions of higher learning to ensure skills portability. Professionalization of the service. The need for the established career pathing and progression and succession policy has been made more clearer during the current implementation of the voluntary severance package, where members stated predominantly the following reasons for taking up VSP. Many indicated that they were responding positively to the broader government program of managing down the public service wage bill and allowing employment opportunities for younger people who could bring fresh ideas and skills. Two, mechanism afforded a few applicants the opportunity to exit due to health problems which were not serious enough to warrant consideration of medical boarding. Three, a small number cited family responsibilities that were detracting them from their ability to be optimally productive. But majority of applicants felt that they had reached the ceiling of their growth in the organization, and due to advanced age, they had less prospects of growing. And this is supported by that today applicants from Applications from 228, which is 8% of staff establishment, had their applications for VSP approved, and the bulk of the applications, 76.3%, came from the G3, P1 and P2 levels. These are the higher level generalists and professional bands who, despite majority of them holding qualifications, have remained in the same position for an extended period with no prospects of career growth in their remaining years of service. The VSP program is also supported by a dedicated change management initiative. Strengthening national security. First is the fight against organized crime. The shadow of organized crime in South Africa stretches far and wide. The problem of organized crime is a serious and complex challenge that undermines national security, social stability, economic development, and the rule of law. It is no longer limited to local gangs. It includes transnational syndicates involved in drug trafficking, human trafficking and smuggling, rhino poaching, illegal mining and smuggling of precious metal, and cyber crime and financial fraud. In South Africa, organized crime is also closely linked with illegal mining, the Zamazamas, gang violence, is known in the Western Cape, in particular hijacking and extortion rackets, corrupt procurement and looting of state-owned entities, and cross-border smuggling of drugs, cigarettes, and firearms. Organized crime causes economic damage and distortion by diverting billions from legal economy through money laundering, tax evasion, and counterfeit markets. Furthermore, it discourages investment, raises the cost of doing business, and distorts fair competition. Cases of extortion pervade industries such as construction, transport, small and large business enterprises, and there's a new phase of water mafias, which is undermining and damaging critical water infrastructure, thus undermining both service delivery and economic development, and this cannot be left unattended. As we ramp up the fight against organized crime and to direct its approach in this fight, the SSA is finalizing its anti-organized crime strategy while also participating in the process of drafting the National Anti-Organized Crime Strategy, which is spearheaded by the South African Police Service. In addition, the SSA is leading the drafting of South Africa's counter-proliferation strategy. Furthermore, the SSA is continuing to employ its resources together with local and international partners to stem illicit financial flows generated by organized crime enterprises and to play its role in safeguarding our economy, our country's economy. We've made significant progress in this regard, contributing to South Africa's substantial completion of all 22 FATF action items, paving the way for an on-site visit and our country's anticipated removal from the grey listing. We are also seized with addressing the threats posed by against terrorism and all its permutations, including kidnappings and demands for ransom, in an effort to ensure that our people are safe and feel safe. We acknowledge that no single government agency on its own can effectively address this threat. Therefore, as the SSA, we are committed to continue our participation in multi-stakeholder forums aimed at devising and implementing coordinated interventions. As the SSA will continue to lead and provide guidance to the further enhance current counterintelligence coordination initiatives, especially at provincial and local government level, to create awareness of the risk to national securities and required mitigation and measures to be instituted. Honorable members, on counterterrorism, in some regions, organized crime form alliances with terrorist or insurgent groups, thus creating hybrid threats, e.g. arms for drugs, exchanges, smuggling routes, and so forth. We continue to monitor if such linkages are emerging in South Africa. With its multifaceted and ever-evolving forms, terrorism stands as one of the most pressing and insidious threats to global peace and security in the 21st century. No longer confined by geographic boundaries or political ideologies, it has transformed into a truly global phenomenon, impacting nations regardless of their economic standing, political system, as well as cultural heritage. South Africa's terrorism threat landscape is informed by developments and trends domestically and outside of South Africa's border. In February 2023, the FATF designated South Africa as a jurisdiction under increased monitoring, more commonly known as grey listing, due to this threat of terrorism and terror financing. Subsequent to South Africa's grey listing, the country has been diligently carrying out a range of strategic legislative, institutional, and corporational interventions aimed at rectifying the identified deficiencies and ensuring removal from the grey listing. As the national intelligence priorities mandated the SSA to focus on terrorism and terror financing as a matter of priority, the SSA has increased its ability to identify potential terror financing cases by broadening its understanding of terror financing, both analytically and operationally. We are also increasing our counter-terrorism focus and will continue to be involved in bilateral engagements with foreign counterparts on counter-terrorism and terror financing, including the SADC Regional Counter-Terrorism Center. On border insecurity and migration, the intersection of border security and migration presents a multifaceted challenge with profound implications for individual states and nations globally. In a globalizing world characterized by porous borders, ease of movement of goods and people, as well as the rapid flow of information through technology-enabled channels, our security is increasingly becoming entangled with that of our region of Southern Africa, the continent of Africa, and indeed the rest of the world. These dynamics necessitate a comprehensive understanding of how migration flows and border management strategies directly influence state resources, infrastructure, social services, and ultimately the broader security posture of the country. South Africa, like all other states with significant illegal immigration challenge, is at risk of threats as they present and manifest at its ports of entry. The SSA is increasing its focus on border and ports of entry security to improve its support to other border security role players such as the BMA, the SABC, and the SNDF to secure territorial integrity in land, aviation, and maritime domains and national sovereignty through providing information and intelligence to mitigate and counter the threats. On cybersecurity, during the last budget vote, I committed that we will table the cybersecurity bill. However, the process of developing the cybersecurity bill had to be done in phases. For now, we are going to finalize consultation on the cybersecurity strategy. And the purpose of the cybersecurity strategy is to provide a clear, structured, and proactive approach to protecting the country's digital assets, information systems, and critical infrastructure from cyber threats. It aligns cybersecurity efforts with national interest. The draft strategy focuses on protecting information and systems by ensuring the security, confidentiality, integrity, and availability of ICT systems and digital infrastructure. 2, building resilience and incident response by developing the capability to detect, respond to, and recover from cyber incidents and minimize disruption to services and operations during cyber attacks or breaches. 3, strengthen national security by protecting critical infrastructure such as energy, transport, healthcare, finance, communications from cyber-enabled threats, and enhancing national defense and intelligence capabilities in the cyber domain. 4, promoting awareness and cyber hygiene by educating both employees and citizens and other stakeholders about safe digital practices and fostering a culture of cybersecurity through training, awareness campaigns, and responsible behavior online. 5, fostering collaboration and information sharing by enhancing coordination between government, private sector, academia, and international partners. The NICOC will soon develop coordination capacity for an integrated national intelligence structure cybersecurity coordination to support the work of the SSA and other role players. On the work we do for the rest of the world, South Africa remains mindful of the linkages of our national security to those of our neighbors and the continent of Africa and the world at large. SSA has been active in supporting government's work in the context of SADC, SACU, the AU, BRICS, and the United Nations, and all other bilateral relations. Our work includes working closely with partner intelligence security services in identifying the common security threats affecting the region, and most of which would pose a threat to South Africa's national security. Recognizing the new threats emerging from the digital space, the SSA has been proactive in pioneering discussions on collaboration among African countries for investing in sovereign digital infrastructure that is interoperable. And in this regard, SSA, as the Southern Africa Regional Chair of the Committee of Intelligence and Security Services of Africa, CISA, has been at the forefront of initiating dialogue with within the Southern Africa region on building strategies for technological sovereignty. In support of South Africa's multilateral programs, the SSA provides both threat, risk, and opportunity assessments, as well as intelligence briefs in preparation for the participation of South Africa's various delegations to multilateral bodies and the implementation of multilateral agreements with a view of supporting South Africa's international agenda. The SSA has, through quarterly continental stability assessments and other products on transnational threats such as terrorism, forewarned on regional instability that could constitute an impediment on the operations of South Africa's businesses wishing to invest in Africa. Recent global developments such as the rollout of global tariffs and the withdrawal of international aid to African economies have also been factored into SSA's assessments on threats, risks, and opportunities to South Africa's economic diplomacy. Honorable members, intelligence exists primarily to safeguard the sovereignty of the state. It must fulfill its role by identifying and countering potential threats using the instruments and resources available to it. I table the budget vote number 8 of National Treasury, State Security, for your support to enable us to deliver this work. And as I table this vote, we want to commit that SSA and all the national intelligence structures that I'm responsible for will avail ourselves to the Judge Nhlanhla Commission of Inquiry as announced by the President. Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you. The next speaker is the Honorable Isaacs.
Honorable House Chairperson, members of the Joint Standing Committee on Intelligence, Minister in the Presidency, together with your Deputy Ministers, Morolong and Nhlanhla, our Acting Director General, Ambassador Msimanga, the Inspector General of Intelligence and the management team of the SSA and the intelligence community. We are here today because we were brought together to debate on a very important budget vote at a very pivotal moment, as South Africa undertakes one of the most significant reforms to its national intelligence architecture, a reform that seeks to deepen the roots of governance and accountability. At the heart of this transformation is a simple but powerful principle. Intelligence services must uphold the Constitution and respond to the realities of a rapidly changing world. Today, the global environment is volatile, shaped by shifting alliances, cyber warfare, disinformation campaigns, and economic uncertainty. The General Intelligence Laws Amendment Act 37 of 2024 sets the legal foundation for a reimagined intelligence architecture. We are moving towards a more modern, mission-driven, and accountable intelligence capability. Through this legislation, the State Security Agency will be disestablished in the 2025-26 financial year, and in its place, 2 specialized services will be established, as already alluded to by the Minister.
All right, you've been listening in there to the budget vote for the State Security Agency, which was tabled just a short while ago by Minister in the Presidency Khumbudzo Ntshavheni, who in part has conceded that organized crime stretches far and wide and now includes transnational actors. The minister says there are links to illegal mining, the smuggling of drugs along the country's ports. She says there's also a new phase of organized crime in water mafias, all of which are details, by the way, you must have heard in one way or the other in a number of our own news bulletins as those affected by this kind of criminality begin to speak out. The minister saying they're committed to continuing their participation in multi-stakeholder fora in order to raise their own concerns. All of this is important in the wake of the KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi's bombshell briefing now over a week ago, which have really sparked a series of events that have culminated in one way or the other in the establishing, well, imminently, of a commission of inquiry as marches are held around the country in support of the KZN Police Commissioner.